We don't clean up communities just to keep America beautiful. We clean up so Americans can do beautiful things. Every year, we clean up hundreds of millions of pounds of litter and recyclables, plant hundreds of thousands of trees, flowers, and gardens, and deliver $236 million in measurable benefits. We keep America beautiful so Americans can do beautiful things.
Welcome to Do Beautiful Things. I'm your host, Jenny Lawson, President and CEO of Keep America Beautiful. In this podcast, we'll discuss ending litter, the truth behind recycling, and making communities beautiful for people and for a more sustainable future. We'll be talking to industry experts, community leaders, and everyday people who want to do the right thing, including from time to time, my mother. Thank you for joining us. I hope you learned something, and I know I will.
Welcome back to Do Beautiful Things. Looking ahead to America's 250th birthday in 2026, we're building a movement rooted in care, action, and community pride. Through our Greatest American Cleanup campaign, we've set a bold goal to pick up 25 billion pieces of litter across the country and beautify 25,000 communities by July 4th of next year. So we're under 1 year from the end of the Greatest American Cleanup campaign. But of course, it's not just about picking up litter or planting flowers and trees and bushes. It's actually about people. It's about communities coming together, neighbors pitching in, and local leaders stepping up to drive real change. Today's episode is the second in a special series where we're talking with mayors from across the nation who are leading this movement on the ground. These are the folks who have signed the Greatest American Cleanup Declaration and are showing us what's possible when pride and action go hand in hand. Today, we're heading to the city of College Park, Georgia, where cleanup efforts are turning into something much bigger: connections, momentum, and a real sense of community. So let's get into it. I am delighted to welcome our guest today, Mayor Bianca Motley Broom. Mayor Motley Broom was the very first to sign our Greatest American Cleanup Declaration, and I can't tell you how excited we were in that moment that somebody was the first to sign our declaration. She's proving what's possible when environmental vision meets community action, from establishing citywide cleanup traditions to reimagining green spaces like the Flint River Nature Preserve and Camp Truitt Botanical Garden. She's building momentum and inspiring others to get involved, helping her city not just clean up, but rise up too. Mayor Motley Broom, we welcome you to Do Beautiful Things.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
You know, let's get started. I came from the suburbs of D.C., so this was not the College Park that I thought of when I first saw the name. Tell me a little bit about College Park and your community and where you're located.
We are a suburb of the city of Atlanta. And if you have ever flown into Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, you have been to the city of College Park, Georgia. The arrival, departure gates, the T gates, the A gates, and the southern half of the B gates at Hartsfield-Jackson sit in the city of College Park. So we are in the shadow of the world's busiest and most efficient airport. We have about 15,000 residents, give or take. According to the census in 2020, we were at 13,930, but all of us had some challenges during the pandemic, so I'm giving us a little bit of extra credit. And we are a dynamic community. We've been in existence since the late 1800s, and we have so many tools and opportunities because of our relationship with the airport and our proximity to the center of Atlanta. And we take advantage of all of that. We call ourselves the global gateway city because so many parts of the world are accessible through College Park. And we recognize that we had an opportunity with the Great American Cleanup to showcase our city in a different light, because we get so many visitors that come through our city, whether they are just passing through or they are working in College Park, playing in College Park, or living in College Park. So this has been a great opportunity for us to really rally our residents around a very exciting and dynamic program to make our community better.
The passion for your community is obvious. It's as I was thinking about this interview and doing some research, you're in the cusp of community that's seeing a lot of change. There's growth that's happening in your direction. There's dynamic changes in population. All sorts of things are affecting what's happening in College Park. So, what sparked your passion around beautification and litter cleanup, and how does that reflect sort of the community pride part of the conversation?
I think most of us who run for office are inspired in one way or another by seeing something that we want to change. Certainly, I was motivated by a number of factors, but one of those was I love this city and I want to make it better in big ways and small ways. I've always been one of those people who walks along and picks up trash because honestly, if I'm making a loop in my community and I see the same piece of trash that I've already passed, well, what the heck? I could have done something about that. So as mayor, I've been able to kind of parlay that into motivation for my residents. They see me doing it. They understand that it is nothing for the mayor of their city to pick up someone's styrofoam container that they've tossed out a window, because I want them to understand that it is everyone's responsibility. We really were able to shift things into overdrive with Frances Kennedy. Frances is a national treasure, and she has focused our efforts in our Keep America Beautiful affiliate, Keep College Park Beautiful, to really harness some of the opportunities that are available, because we've had a lot of piecemeal efforts. Our residents recognize the fact that not all areas of our city are as beautiful as we want them to be. But Frances has been able to take that energy and actually harness it and point it in the right direction so we can make substantive progress in a lot of different areas.
Frances is the best in, leading the affiliate there in College Park. She's done a terrific job. And I went and did a little homework just internally. And as a relatively new affiliate, she has absolutely tapped into the granting programs that we have with partners like Coca-Cola and Target and others around our Greatest American Cleanup grants. So yeah, she's done a really terrific job of engaging. When you take our small investment and your community investment and Frances's investment, what does commitment to change look like on the ground? Like how are some of these investments playing out and the things that you're able to accomplish?
I think they're playing out in a number of ways. I am at a conference right now where we are talking about civic engagement and the lack of civic engagement that we see across the country. We need to provide pathways for people to recognize that, especially on the local level, they can be a part of change. And this is one of the ways that we can open that door for them. And it's a really accessible way, because sometimes people don't feel like they have the time or the energy to engage on a board, for instance. But if we ask you to show up on a Saturday morning and you know that you are going to be able to see the results of your efforts after an hour or 2 hours, you can bring your kids, you can bring your elderly neighbors, and everyone can get around this in a way that shows that civic engagement is something for the entire community. We've lost some of that connection. I think the removal of civics from our education has been a detriment to how we are engaging in the political process.
It's interesting that you say that. We've done some work with Harris Polls. They're actually the pro bono partner for the Greatest American Cleanup. And they've done some polling work that shows that in this current environment, people feel like getting together in community to plant some flowers or pick up a litter. The actual language is, it is a refreshing pause. And I think that's right. I think it is a refreshing pause for people, right? It's this chance to kind of focus on your hometown and your backyard and your neighborhood and making that a positive place for everyone who's there or who's passing through, right? From a tourism perspective. And I think we completely agree with you. And, that civic engagement is actually the core of so much of this. And, internally, we have this ongoing conversation about whether we're an environmental organization or whether, in fact, we are a community organization. We often get classified as an environmental organ. We're like, really, there's a different dynamic at play because we engage that volunteer in the experience.
To your point, Jenny, I think there are a lot of things that people see in our civic engagement right now that they may love or they may not love, but they feel like they can't necessarily control. If we get people on this level to recognize they can make an impact in their communities, whether it is picking up litter or planting flowers or contributing a small part to painting a mural or something along those lines. I still look with pride as I pass our College Park, Georgia mural that sits at the base of Main Street, recognizing that while I'm not that great of a painter, they let me do some of the side color and I didn't go outside of the lines. And I know that I contributed to something beautiful in my community. Francis did a project at one of our community rec centers, and the flowers are gorgeous. And I know that people who walk and bike and drive by that spot who were able to participate in that event know that they have done something. They have brought a bit of beauty, a bit of joy to the community that wasn't there before. And that's often the spark that starts something bigger. Like I said, we feel like the problems that we have in our community are so big we don't even know where to start. But being able to harness a little bit of joy.
This is why we do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both of us, is this idea that it's sparking hope and helping people reconnect to each other. Now, you've done some big work in greening projects like the Flint River Nature Preserve and Camp Truitt Botanical Gardens. You want to tell me a little bit about what's happening there?
Sure. Well, I do want to give credit to one of my colleagues, Councilmember Robert Gay, in regard to Camp Truitt. This has been his pet project for probably close to 20 years. And we've been able to have an agreement with Fulton County, who actually owns the land for a long-term lease to develop a botanical garden in that space. So we are really looking forward to having this amenity on the south side of Atlanta, because we have seen a lot of disinvestment on the south side and more of a recognition that this is a logistical hub or not a place that we're necessarily always concerned about quality of life issues. So this project is one that does focus on that. It provides a space for people to gather and appreciate the beauty that nature gives us, much like the Flint River Project, which to me is one of those opportunities that, my gosh, I love this project because what we refer to as the Tri-Cities, we have neighbors, East Point, Georgia, and Hapeville, Georgia. And the three of us are commonly referred to as the Tri-Cities. And so one of our Tri-Cities neighbors, her name is Hannah Palmer. She has done a lot of research and a lot of work on the Flint River, which is the second longest river in Georgia. And it starts in East Point at a spring that I'm not sure that anyone knows the precise location, but it's first visible in College Park. And it is first visible in a 7-acre tract that is largely owned by the city of College Park. And there's a little sliver of it that's owned by East Point. But that is a relatively new development because it was actually owned for several decades by MARTA, our transit authority. And it was basically fenced off and not used. But Hannah had a vision for it to become a nature preserve. And if you go back there, you can see the footprints of all sorts of animals. And you have this serene, amazing space, again, in the shadow of the world's busiest and most efficient airport. The thing that is just mind-blowing to me about that Flint River is that it actually runs underneath the airport. They built an airport over the river. So Hannah and the partners that she has been able to work with over the last nearly decade at this point have been trying to bring awareness of the fact that the Flint River is in our backyard and return it to more of its natural flow so we can help with stormwater mitigation efforts downstream, because our city sits both in Fulton County and Clayton County, but further south into Clayton County, where the Flint River goes, they have some serious issues with stormwater causing the Flint to overrun its banks. The most dangerous part of that is that it actually cuts off access to a local hospital. So we are talking about some environmental considerations that are largely man-made. We decided that industry was more important than honoring the natural pathway of the river, and we were just going to make water do what we wanted it to do. But frankly, I think that if there's one thing I've learned as mayor, it's that water does what water wants to do. So we should let water do that and work with our environment instead of trying to control it in that manner. And so what we do in College Park can directly impact Clayton County. It can have impacts throughout the state. And that's why I'm so excited about the project, because there are very few things that I do in this city that impact, say, Tifton in South Georgia. But if we do this right, it will help the health of the Flint River all the way through and really improve the quality of life for countless Georgians.
What a great vision, and an understanding that it's linking community after community along the way, and that each has their piece of the puzzle to really help this work out. And the reality, and my favorite saying is, Mother Nature always wins. You think you're in a workaround? Not really, right?
No,
it doesn't last. So it's so what a wonderful exploration of the power of managing green space and taking care of those places, both now and in the years to come, as we see more storms and more change happening with these, flash high water events. All of this work becomes just critically important. Back to the 250th birthday. What's your vision for College Park's role in getting ready for the country's 250th birthday? We're talking with cities who are planning parades and are, hoping, and we're doing a lot of work to try and recruit cities to do this. As you're figuring out what you may plant in public spaces next year, we're hoping it'll be red, white, and blue so that we have this shared moment of delight across the country. And I was wondering, what are you thinking about? How are you all understanding your role in getting ready for that?
I think it will be something that we explore a little bit more as we go through the year. I'm definitely excited. I'm excited to be able to serve at this time, because it is a pivotal point in our nation's history. And we have so many things in our society right now that tell us that we should be, fearful of each other or suspect of each other, that there's this us versus them. But at the end of the day, there's only us. And I hope that we are focused on that as we celebrate the nation's 250th birthday, because we are how we got here today. And we are how the nation will continue to evolve and thrive, learn, and grow. All of us. And I hope that we can rally around each other in this moment and really celebrate that and celebrate the beauty that is our country.
Perfect. There's not another thing to be said. Mayor Motley Broom, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for being the first mayor in the country to step out and participate in the greatest American cleanup. We are thrilled that there are over 200 mayors who have signed that declaration so far, and we're on the path to bring more in every week. So thank you for being a leader in all that you do, both in the city of College Park and across the country. We are grateful for you joining us today.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, I left that conversation inspired, and I hope you did too. Thanks so much to Mayor Motley Broom. If that conversation sparked something in you, we'd love for you to join the movement. Whether you're someone who wants to tidy up your own neighborhood, part of a group planning a community cleanup, or a local leader ready to rally your community, there's a place for you in the Greatest American Cleanup. Head over to kab.org/greatest to find out how you can get involved, access helpful resources, and take your next step. Together, we can make a real difference by July 4th, 2026. Coming up in our next few episodes, we'll be chatting with more mayors who are stepping up, signing the Declaration and leading the way toward healthier, more vibrant communities. Until next time, take care, stay informed, and let's keep doing beautiful things together. See you in the next episode.